about, you need to, in order to succeed, you must be easy to start and you must be hard to stop. Big point in what we're going to talk about today. So I just want to kind of frame this a little bit. So as we are working toward December, it occurred to me that a lot of people who have, let's say, real jobs, where they punch a clock or they go in and do what they're supposed to do on a regular basis, and they have bonuses that they work toward at the end of the year. It's a kind of standard in a lot of industries and a lot of businesses. And what they do is they refocus themselves in the last quarter because they want to be favorable in the mind of the boss when you get to December and January, when the bosses are calculating the bonuses, etc. That makes sense? That's what happens, okay? But we in real estate, we have a really unique opportunity. We are our own bosses. We are the people that when we do what we say we're supposed to do, when we do the activities that we're supposed to do, that over a certain period of time, we should be able to yield back something that's probably greater, in a lot of cases, than most of the bonuses. So let me ask you guys a question. And I want you to be realistic in thinking about this. What would be a good number? A good number of a bonus that you would like to have at December 31st, January 1st of this year. Write down on a piece of paper. Cover it. Don't let anybody see it. It's a big secret, okay? Don't cheat. What's the number on the bonus that you would like to have at the end of this year? What's that number? Write that down. Now, I'd like you to close your eyes for a minute. Bear with me. Close your eyes for a minute. And in your mind's eye, I'd like you to see getting that check or receiving that amount of cash or a check written to you with your name on it for that amount of money, okay? I want you to get it in your mind's eye. I want you to feel it, okay? Close your eyes, feel what it would be like getting that check, okay? Now, I want you to take that amount. I don't know if it's 5,000, 20,000, 40,000, 100,000. By the way, any of those numbers are possible in this room. Any of those numbers that I just mentioned are very possible in the last quarter in this room. But I'd like you to take and push that slightly. I'd like you to add another 5 or 8 or 10 or 15 or $20,000 onto that number. Don't consider it's not possible. Don't consider the possibility that you can't do it. Just think about it. Put it in your mind's eye and think of you receiving that extra amount of money. Now let me ask you a question. What would you attempt? Open your eyes. A couple of you were a little sleeping. Oh, hey! What would you attempt? What number would you put down there? What would you focus on over these next 57 work days if you knew you couldn't fail at achieving that number? If you knew you couldn't fail. See, what happens to some of us is because we think it's not possible, we think we're going to fail, we think we can't get it, so therefore, A, we don't play the game in our mind, or we come up with all these reasons, all these pushbacks, why it can't be done. There isn't a person in this room that couldn't do open and certainly get them pending. Take a listing or 2 or 3. and have it go pending 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Who couldn't do that? There's not a person in this room who couldn't do that. Not any of you. Every one of you have the potential to do that, to earn 30, 40, 50, 80, 100, 120, $140,000. Jack, sell 2 or 3 of those listings. Put them into escrow. 2 or 3 of those, double end them. 60, 80, 2 deals, $60,000, $120,000, very possible. It is, don't tell me why you can't do it. Let's talk about how to do it. You get where I'm going with this? Just for the next 57 work days. So I wrote down, there's 3 thoughts from one of the great coaches that has had the opportunity to help people like Tiger Woods and some of the other great golfers. And there's 3 things that they work with. So the note I put down here is how top performers finish strong coming down the stretch. How top performers finish strong coming down the stretch. So I'm going to give you 3 thoughts here. 3 thoughts. Number 1, fall in love with the opportunity. Number 1, fall in love with the opportunity. Neil, what opportunity? I mean, you're telling me that, well, what's the big deal here? Well, fall in love with the opportunity means that at this time of year, right now, we have a unique opportunity. And it only comes once a year. And it's now, right now. And that is, as the inventory shrinks slightly, the number of agents working shrinks more. I talk about this every single week. You've got to get this point. You've got to get it. Ladies and gentlemen, your competition every single day is starting to stop working. Do you guys get that? You're having some difficulties in your mind when you talk to other people in other offices and they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not going on the caravans they used to go on. They're not previewing the properties they used to preview. They're not going to see the houses they should be. They're not door knocking the expires that they should be. They're turning the key off. Our support people, our title people, and our mortgage people are calling on offices. And they'd like to call on offices. They'd like to talk to real estate agents. Less people in the offices? Less people in the offices? Harder to get in touch with people, you guys? Right? You know what I'm saying? Those are the support people that go to the offices all the time, and they don't have anybody to talk to. So you think you see these people in this office a lot? It's because you're here working. Do you get that? And your competitors are not. Fall in love with the opportunity. Fall in love with the idea that right now, there may be less deals, less listings, but there's so many less real estate agents that the odds of you getting an opportunity, getting a listing, or making a sale are dramatically increased. That's number 1. Number 2. Number 2 is accelerate when others would coast. Write down, accelerate when others would coast. Accelerate when others would coast. Like I said, most of your competition is slowing down more and more each day the closer we get to the end of the year. Your job is to accelerate. Your job is to push a little bit further. Your job is to put the pedal to the metal. Right now, write down 57 work days. That's it. That's all we're talking about. On the 58th work day, go do something else. But 57 of them, pedal to the metal. I wrote down the 3rd thought. Execute clearly defined game plan. Execute a clearly defined game plan. This is not my plan, ladies and gentlemen. This is the plan that top performers like the Tiger Woods of the world work on when they go into a tournament. So execute a clearly defined plan. Do your job, plain and simple. Clearly defined game plan that produces great results. You want to set your, so I wrote down here, set yourself apart from your competitors. Clearly defined game plan includes setting yourself apart from your competitors. Here's how to do it. Write this down. This is a very secret form. You guys have been looking for the secret? Okay? This is it. Write this down, and write it down in invisible ink. We don't want anybody to see it. Number 1, work a great 8 for the next 57 work days. Work a great 8. I'm telling you, your competitors aren't going to do that. Most real estate agents don't work a great 8. They put in 10 or 12 hours, but there isn't a great 8 in there. I'm just asking you, just put in a great 8. When you're done with a great 8, go home. But get in a great 8 for 57 work days. Number 2, go see this is a secret, don't tell anybody. Go see every expired in the market you work every single day for the next 57 work days. Go see 5 a day for the next 57 work days. I wrote down here the 3rd point. Go preview 5 houses every work day. Does this plan sound familiar? Yes. It's got to be boring to you, and at some point, if somebody actually did this, you'd be astonished at the amount of money you could possibly earn. Astonished. Astonished. You would come running into me and say, ha ha, Neil, look how much money, 100,000. 100,000 in the last 3 months. I did it. Did you work the plan? Shh, don't tell anybody. Well, I worked only half the plan and made 100 grand. Because you can do that. You can do that. Go preview, so number 3, go preview 5 houses every single work day. The 4th thing, door knock 10 doors around every expired and every preview you go see for the next 57 work days. What the heck? What if you actually did it in the next 57 work days? What do you think could happen? Any ideas? What?
Meet more people.
You'd meet more people, okay? What else could happen?
More listings.
You might get some more listings, okay? Good. What else could happen? Sorry?
More checks.
More checks. I like that. But then you'd have to go to the bank. Well, and it's far. Some of our banks are far. I get it. Okay? And then it's very difficult signing on the back of a lot of checks, right? Because you got to deposit them. And what if you lose a check? I mean, it's a lot of things. You guys, you think I'm being funny. I have to tell you something. This is the simplest, hardest game in the book. The simplest, hardest game. What did I just say? Work a grade 8 every day. Anybody here can't do that? I said, go see every expired in your market 5 a day for the next 57 days. There's not one of you that couldn't go knock on that door. I didn't say you have to say anything, just go knock on the door. Somebody's going to like the way you look, and they're going to say, come on in and list my house. I guarantee it. Because you're going to be the only person that's ever done that to them, because people don't do this. The next one is go preview houses. Go preview property. That's not hard. It's not hard at all. Go door knock 10 houses around each one. Again, not hard. You know, then I get the argument, well, I don't have a lot of gas. Don't go very far. You don't have to go to Fontana and do this. You actually, you know, what if you started at one end of Walnut and just went to the other end of Walnut and went back? You'd be like Forrest Gump, okay? There's what, 15 or 18,000 homes in Walnut? What if you knocked on every door? Just made it your goal, and it's not that big. You could do that. Well, and knocked on every single door. First of all, like Bruce said, you lose a couple pounds, and that wouldn't hurt any of us, okay? And you would knock on 15,000 doors. It can't be a bad idea. Then I wrote down here the fifth thought on this is make sure your past client sphere of influence is set up and working. Make sure, finally, your past client and sphere of influence is set up and working. And the sixth thought is to learn how to handle the objections you most hear that keep coming up. And one of the ways to do that is get into our advanced scripts class that we have 3 days a week. So I wrote down this thought. Don't let the fear of the time it'll take to accomplish something stand in the way of you doing it. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Because sometimes we get involved in this. That's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take 3-4 hours a day. I'm going to have to do this. Well, don't let the fear of the time it'll take to accomplish something stand in the way of you doing it. Here's why. The time will pass anyway. Got me? The time will pass anyway. We might just as well put that passing time to the best possible use. If it's going to take you 4 hours to do these activities in any given day, I get it, it might. What else do you have to do? The time's going to pass anyway. The 4 hours will pass. At the end of the 4 hours, if you were doing these activities, at least you'd feel good about yourself. You'd look back and say, wow, that was pretty cool. But if you didn't do anything or didn't do what you were supposed to do and you look back at the 4 hours, all you have is you've lost the 4 hours. Do you guys get that? Well, we'll come back to that later. Okay. I wrote down here, in this process, we will all get discouraged. We will get discouraged in this process. In fact, write that down. I will get discouraged at some point in this process. I will get discouraged. The real question is, what will you do about the fact that you got discouraged for a moment, for an hour, for a couple of hours? You did your door knocking. You got an objection. You didn't know how to handle it. It's discouraging. What are you going to do about it? You go back to the office, talk to your coaches, find out what we can do to handle that, what we can do to overcome that the next time, and then go back out and do it. So I wrote this down. So we will get discouraged. Write that down. Then I want you to circle it and put a line through it. We will get discouraged, but circle it and put a line through it. Yes. We will get discouraged. We will. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You know, this is going to sound weird, but some of you think I never am down and I'm never discouraged. Okay? Well, it's not true. It's just you don't see it. Because it's not good for you to see me down or discouraged. Is it right? Say yes.
Yes.
Okay? I am. Sometimes I'm so upset that I don't come up the stairs. I kicked the tire of the car. And then I broke a toe once, and that was dumb. It happens. But it doesn't do me or you any good to show you that I'm upset or discouraged or beat myself up. You want to know, you want to talk about the epitome of discouragement for me? I know every single one of you is capable of far more than where you are in your financial life. Far more. Spectacularly more. And I find it very discouraging every single day that you don't see that and take action to work on fixing it. But what do? Tomorrow I come back in with a new great idea to beat you over the head, to help you get to your potential. I study every single day. Every single week I look at videos, read books, talk to people to try and figure out what button I can push to get you to do what you need to do for you and your family every single day. You talk about discouraging? I do this for a living. But I'm not going to stop, so there. Okay, you're stuck with me. So we will get discouraged. You wrote it down, you put a circle through it, and put a line through it. And then I want you to say, you could say it now. It may happen, so what? Try it again. It may happen, so what? Say it again. It may happen, so what? You're going to get discouraged. It could happen at any given time. So what? We move on. We don't have an option there. Paul Maier once said, 90% of those who fail are not actually defeated. They simply quit. They weren't defeated. They just quit. You can never quit. That's what we're talking about right here. Right now, going through the finish line. Some of you have not achieved your goal for the year. Some of you actually don't think you can achieve your goal for the year. I'm here to tell you, let's try it. Let's work on it. Let's do 1,000 doors. Let's do 2,000 doors. Let's talk to a couple hundred expireds. Let's preview 200 or 300 pieces of property, and let's figure out if, in fact, that can or can't be done. Who knows? Does this make sense? If you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. How well you follow through with your plans will determine your success. You will make things happen only by seeing them through to the end. That's all I'm talking about now. 57 work days, 5 previews a day, 5 expireds a day, door knock 10 around it. Do that for the 57 days. That's your job. See it through to the end. Don't do 3 or 4 and quit. It didn't work. I did talk to 5 people. No one listed with me. The system doesn't work. Sometimes you might have to talk to 800 people or 1,000 people. Well, who cares? What else do you have to do? This is an amazing job, amazing opportunity, amazing career. The kind of money that can be made here is staggering. Take advantage of it. I wrote down here, oh, let's do this. Let's do it different. Write down the word potential. Write down the word potential. Then write down the word limitations. Potential, limitations. Potential, limitations. See, what happens is we have this enormous amount of potential, and then we always go to, but I'm limited. But I don't have this, or I can't do this, or I don't know this. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to circle the word limitations, and I want you to put a line through it. Your limits are only your opinion. Your limits are only your opinion. Your limits are only your opinion. And we know that at any time we want to, we can change our opinion, can't we? At any time we want, we can change our opinion, so therefore we can change our limitations. I'm working with you and a lot of you, some one-on-one, some we're working in groups, and I'm seeing the growth is spectacular. You learned another script, you learned another dialogue, you went in, you previewed some properties. Just the concept of previewing property. The power in a real estate agent who has the example of never previewing property, or only previewing property when they show property, the 3 or 4 houses they show is what they previewed, and going from that to previewing 5 houses a day, 5 days a week, so they're seeing 25 houses. At the end of the month, they've seen 100 houses, and then they come to me with this amazing power and confidence that they have because they have seen houses, and when somebody says to them, hey, tell me about a piece of property that has a shake roof. Tell me about a piece of property that has a tile roof. Tell me about a piece of property that's on a cul-de-sac that's in this price range or that price range. And right off the top of their head, they can give them 2 or 3 examples in 2 or 3 different communities. That's powerful. And let me tell you, that comes across to the client. And clients don't want to work with wimps. They want to work with knowledgeable, strong, capable, professional real estate agents. I wrote down here, when you take action, you feel better. When you take action, you feel better. Your business will be better, and your bank account will grow. Let me do that again. When you take action, you feel better. Your business will be better when you feel better, and your bank account will grow. You make the choice to change your life daily. You choose. No matter what your choice is, what you do in the next 24 hours will speak volumes as to how the balance of this year is going to be, this next 57 days. If you take action today, you walk out of here today, and you do some of the 5, 5, 10. Maybe you can't do it all, although it's only going to be 2 o'clock when you leave here. And right now, it's still not dark until what, 7:30? 7:30. So if you leave here at 2 o'clock, you don't have to go to Fontana, take an hour to get there. You could door knock right behind us. Would be great if 50 of you went right behind us this afternoon. Okay? Now let me tell you a secret. You're thinking to yourself, darn it, Neil, why did you tell everybody to go over here and door knock? That's what I was going to do. So now I'm not going to do it. Well, either is the other 49. So you're going to be all by yourself if you go do that. And let me tell you something. If there was somebody else out there, great. It'll be 2 of you, 1 on one side, 1 on the other. Attack it. Because it's only going to be the 2 of you. You think I'm nuts? It's the truth. I've been doing this for 40 years. This hill behind us, we should own. We should own it. You don't have to go anywhere. You get out of the office, you walk across the parking lot. There's some gorgeous properties up on the hill. To the right, to the left, must be, within walking distance, 500 houses, 800 houses, 1,000 houses. Within easy walking distance, you would think we would own that market. There wouldn't be a listing they could take in that market that we didn't own, because every one of you would be door knocking it every day. Not the case. You know why? Because you think the other guy's doing it. True story. Well, let me clue you in. They're not. Your choice. What are you going to do in the next 24 hours? Are you going to get out there and do what you're supposed to do and take action so that the next 57 days are a great Christmas, a great holiday, an amazing end of the 4th quarter, and a spectacular 1st quarter? Or are you going to do what you always done, which is whatever it is you always do? You know what it is. And in a lot of cases, it isn't a lot. But you have a moment right now, in time, where you can make a giant difference. Now let's go out and make this the best week you've ever done. Thank you.